Hello and welcome to Epic BattleCry. This is the place where we cut through the crap to bring you the real deal on the gaming industry today. I'm your host, Tony Grice. With me, as always, Brent Adams, Daniel Kaiser. It is Tuesday, September 23rd, year 2014. And
how sure are we on the year? I mean...
Oh, yeah. I mean, the year's just, it is flying by, though. It is kind of crazy.
It is crazy.
Another thing that is kind of crazy is the great questions we are getting every day. Today's question comes from Vin Hill Art at Vin Hill Art at
Vin Hill Art.
Twitter at Vin Hill Art.
Vin Hill Art or Vin Hill Art?
I said it separately because it's separate up top, but I mean, who knows? I mean, at this point, it's question only really.
Sure.
Kanye West can answer. At EpicBattleX, what's up? What are your thoughts on people comparing games to other games, i.e. comparing Destiny to something like Borderlands or World of Warcraft? Is Unique dead? So, I don't know. Brent, what do you think? What do you like this? I mean, do you compare games to other games, or do you think that, you got to really stand out from one another to
all right, first up,
something completely different.
First up, today's episode of the Falcon Cry is brought to you by Lazy Rider. Happy birthday! That was just for you.
Lazy Rider.
Next up, to answer this,
are you selling bits now?
Listen. What I'm doing and what I'm getting compensated for is my deal.
Isn't that the name of like a truck stop condom?
Okay, this is a true story, and I think that Tony was with me when this happened. We stopped at a gas station one time. I went in.
See?
No, I was not. I have no idea where you're going with this.
I took a leak at the urinal. I look up. There's one of those condom machines, and there is like one of the you put like the 75 cents in. You pinch the quarters together, turn the dial, whatever. One of those condom machines in the bathroom above the urinal, and one of the condoms that you could buy was called, and hand to heart, this is true, the Shredder.
I do think I remember that.
I remember I came out to the car and told you, I was like, you are never going to believe what they are selling in that men's bathroom.
Does it glow in the dark?
Listen, it has to.
Does it produce
It was ribbed, but not for her pleasure. That was the problem.
It was not. It was irradiated for her pleasure, though, which is how it glows in the dark.
Well, they should have one called the Splinter.
No, because that sounds painful. So my point, though, is this. What was the question? No.
Should you compare games to other games?
As far as people comparing games to other games, not only is this behavior absolutely unavoidable, but it's very, very healthy. And I've been reading a lot about neuroscience lately, and this is how the human brain works. At its most basic level, the human brain is a pattern recognition machine, and so. What we essentially are,
I've recognized your patterns.
Excuse me, what'd you say?
Where did I sign?
So anyway, the point is that it is literally in our nature to look at things and compare them, like to like. What's different. Like my daughter right now, Zeely. She's she watches this show on Baby First TV called What's Different. And it's like it's. Three yellow jackets and then one green jacket. Which one's different? And
like the bee, or like an actual jacket.
Like an actual jacket.
Okay.
And so the point though is that
what is the point?
The point though is that this is just this is how we put things in context. So right. Looking at a game like Destiny and saying it's Borderlands meets World of Warcraft. Some people are going to hear that and say, well, that's a shortcut to thinking. Right. But that is exactly how we put things in context. That's how we understand the world, by saying, okay, I've never seen this before, but I understand that it is similar to this other thing that I'm familiar with, and then this thing over here. So therefore, I am not afraid of it, which we do have a tendency to be when we don't have any context for things. So anyway, I don't think that means that unique is dead. And in fact, the notion of unique art is actually a really interesting one. And there's a fantastic series of mini documentaries on YouTube, and I cannot for the life of me remember the name right now.
That's helpful.
I might try to look
this. Is it like any other YouTube?
I might try to look this up before,
it was so
before the
unique
episode
that
ends.
you can't remember it.
They did like a series. They did a series of YouTube videos. I think they were like, I don't know, like less than 15 minutes long each, and they talked about kind of the nature of innovation and things like that. And they said that there is this misconception that people have these inspired ideas that, like suddenly, there's like the world on Tuesday and then the world on Wednesday, and suddenly there's Velcro, and on Tuesday there was nothing. And that's not the way that works. That there's every innovation is an incremental step, and it builds off of things that came before it, and it steals certain ideas from this and it combines them with other ideas over here, and that everybody steals from the entire world when they're dreaming up new ideas and things like that. So the idea of unique art is probably false. That there is probably no unique art. Everything is derivative of something else. Correct. But that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Because unless you're living in fucking ancient Greece, there are no new ideas under the sun.
There's nothing new under the sun.
So yeah, that's my take on it.
Yeah, and I think it's propelled by your correlation to the magnetic fields. No, I'm sure.
That was not my correlation.
Inside joke. But I agree with that. But I think there's two distinct paths. Like, I think inspiration, obviously comes, even if you think you're making something unique, it's coming from some source of inspiration. It's just, it's defined on... It's defined to what level you are actually implementing that inspiration. So,
well, I'm on level 17. What level are you?
Well,
on?
A game like, I guess Destiny, you have to keep advancing levels to actually get to the unique content. But anyway, with a game like Destiny, it's obviously inspired by certain genres. It's inspired. The mechanics are inspired by things like MMOs and other stuff, but the gameplay is inspired by other, titles, FPSs, Halo specifically. So you're combining things that within itself makes it less unique. Well, it makes it unique in that it's combining different elements, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. But yesterday we talked about like a Minecraft. Okay, now Minecraft comes along. It's probably inspired by something much more rudimentary in terms of just like Lego, exactly. But within a digital space, it becomes unique. So now things are going to, then you look at Project Spark, which is probably inspired by a Minecraft, right? So to be distinctly unique, I do think there is a level of creativity or innovation in which you can establish a sense of being completely unique. And to me, something like Minecraft does do that because it pulls from one medium, applies it to another to become unique within that medium. But within the medium that Destiny is in, it is obviously pulling from other sources. So it's not unique. It's just, it's unique in the way that it combines other things. So I don't think unique is dead. I think it's a moot point to kind of argue how unique things are in the gaming space.
Is it like
whether
level
or not it's successful.
17 unique, or
is it fun, and is it successful at its goal? Is its goal to, unfortunately, things that are unique aren't always the most successful.
Yeah, I was actually going to make that point too.
There has to be a gestation period in which you're trying to, discover what the potential is of this unique idea. And over the course of time, iterations lend themselves to innovations, right? So I think that within the gaming space, there's a lot of opportunity to combine different things. Most games you can trace the lineage of games, their DNA back to certain games. It's inspired by this, or its characters were inspired by this, or its setting was, or its mechanics were. So most games have some sort of inspiration and are not 100% truly unique. But the ones that kind of stand out the most are the ones that have the least amount of inspirations from, or I should say, easily identifiable inspirations and become unique that way. But that doesn't mean that either is right or wrong or capable of being more or less successful.
Tony, what do you think?
I think we've covered it pretty good. The whole thing is, I don't necessarily know that just because you compare something to something means that it can't be unique as well. Just like what DK was saying. It can be sort of the first in its space to do something, or to combine things together. Is it truly unique then? Well, no. Right. It's always building upon something else. Let's be honest. anything that's just a first-person shooter from a mechanic is borrowing tons of material in a sense, like how you move, how you interact within the world, how you do this, that, and the other. There's tons of elements that make it
huge lineage of things that were already there.
Exactly, and the same way with the MMO aspects. I mean, it's borrowing from tons of stuff. So, is it truly unique? Well, I mean, kind of like to what you were saying,
Snowflake unique. I mean,
yeah, exactly. That's
Fingerprint
exactly what
unique?
I was saying. But the one thing I did want to just kind of bring up is the fact that there seems to be this really there's this kind of this fanboyism that comes out of some people when you do the comparison thing. And speaking to what Brent was saying earlier, I think some, different people learn differently. Different people look at things differently. I am very much a comparison type person. Like whenever I'm explaining something to someone, or if I'm, if I'm talking to someone about something, I use analogies. I use reference different things because that's how I think. Like that's how I look at things.
Most of us do.
And so that's Well, and I think certain people do it more than others. And the thing I was going to say is
really unique people in society are in mental wards. You know what I mean?
That's
like
true.
There's a reason that unique is not always desirable.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway,
I just it's just interesting. I don't think that's I don't think it's a bad thing.
Yeah. But Destiny, hey, $500 million, they must be doing something right.
Yeah, and everybody's apparently already bored with it, so we'll see how that works out.
Right, they only got 10 more years to go on this game.
Yeah. But anyway...
Good thing they didn't put all their eggs in one basket, right?
10 days, 10 years, whatever.
All the same.
So that's a good question from Vilhan Art. We appreciate it. And as always, if you got any other questions, send them to us over at Twitter at EpicBattleX, and check us out, of course, on YouTube, and then check us out on the Weekend Edition as well, where we sort of wrap everything up. And like DK was joking earlier, sort of an inside joke, we have a lot of little things that kind of go on in between the recordings that we have at the end of the week. We have some of them. We still cut some stuff because we want to have jobs in the future, basically. So anyway, that is going to do it for...
We want to be employable and not completely...
Unemployable.
That's why I'm just deleting my Twitter and Facebook accounts now if I
Probably
ever want to get a job
idea,
again.
Really.
Anyway, so thanks for joining us this week, and we will check you out tomorrow on the old hump day. Peace.
Peace.